January 7th, 11 years old. My grandma had taken me to see Top Gun. Very, very fond childhood memory. That was my safe haven, my grandma. My parents were separated. My dad, alcoholic, but always felt the love from him, even though he might be a drunk. Love. And my mom, very abusive. I don't even remember her ever hugging me, telling me she loved me, giving me any kind of compassion. So therefore I seeked outside affection from Claire's dad mainly. So I find myself with this young, good-looking jock cowboy, always never had anything to do with me at school, always after school. But I didn't care because, he'd touch me. I had felt that affection, and I think a lot of teenage girls seek outside affection if their home life isn't good and they're not getting it there. So I remember when I first thought I was pregnant at 13, I was very athletic. I knew something was different when I'd have to do the push-ups and the set-ups. I could barely do them. And I'm like, okay, something's wrong. So it came down to I need to tell my mother, the most frightening day of my life, to tell my mother. So I got up the courage and I told her. It didn't go well. Here come the beatings, the telling me how worthless I was, how horrible I was going to ruin the Fagan name. So she said, well, you're not going to have it. And I tried to fight that. I had no family support. I mean, what could I do at 13, So she takes me to the abortion clinic. I've never been so scared. I remember just sweating beads sitting in that room, waiting, Laying there, the doctor, he never one time even spoke to me. Never said a word. Just did it. All you heard was suction, and then after that is clean her up, she's done. I remember going in that bathroom and just crying, just throw up. I'll never forget turning my head and seeing my baby and, just there in that canister. So I don't even know how to explain the feeling. At first you're heartbroken, you're mad, you're disgusted, but you can't fix it. You wish, you could fix it, but you can't, So in my mind, I thought with my mom's help, I just murdered my baby. So we leave there, we go home, and I'm supposed to go home and act like nothing ever happened that day. So I go home and go back to school, and I notice things still aren't, right. I hadn't been sexually active at all since then. Got to where I couldn't button my pants. Well, I remember my first movement. And at first I was overjoyed thinking, oh, it didn't work. I'm gonna get to have this baby that I was fighting to have. So I have to go back and tell my mom again, hey, something's wrong, and she doesn't believe me. She thinks maybe I've still continued to be sexually active, which I hadn't. So she takes me back to the abortion clinic, and they say I was too far along at that time. So she drives me to Kansas, to another abortion clinic. She lost it. She screamed at the doctors, "You gotta be kidding me. This little whore, she can't have this baby. We can't have this baby. What are you gonna do with it?" I remember her being so angry. And I remember even the doctor trying to calm her down, and say, it's no one's fault. She's too far along. She was pregnant with twins. It's not her fault. It's not our fault. She's too far along. She's got to have this baby. That's your only option, is to have this baby. So we went back out to the waiting area, and the receptionist is the one that told us about Deaconess Hospital. and told my mom that, I could give the baby up for adoption, I can go to this home. So we drove straight from Kansas to Oklahoma City. And that's where she dropped me off. I never went back home from my trip to Kansas until after Claire was born. I felt so relieved knowing that, Barbara, she's getting her baby. She was so excited, to get this baby girl. And the look on their face, when they seen her, that gave me joy. That gave me a little bit of closure to know that she was safe and that they loved her. Yeah, I've given her the best life that she could have ever had. So, no, I don't have any regret in that. Adoption's beautiful. So I remember coming home from work for the doctor's office, checked my email, and popped up on there, Deaconess Hospital. And I about fell out of my chair. I thought, I know what this is. And I was hot all over, and I was excited, and I ran in there and tell my husband, I said, I think Claire's trying to find me. I think Claire's trying to find me. So we read the email, and sure enough, there it was, that she was wanting to meet us. The most awesome feeling I've ever felt in my life, to know my baby girl. She's trying to find me. The one that I tried to kill her. And if that wasn't enough, I gave her away. So I was just overjoyed thinking, why would she want to find me? But I'm glad that she did. I remember the whole drive there to Texas. I thought the closer we get, the more anxious I got, and I was so excited. I walked up there and she opened that door. I never will forget when she opened that door. She was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my life. And I thought, she looked identical to me. I opened the door and I looked at myself in the mirror, and it wasn't, I don't even know if we said hi until we embraced. And it was just such the best hug ever. And we just sat down and we ate and we looked at pictures and we laughed and cried and ate more and cried more. And it was like a huge family reunion. But it was like I knew these people my entire life. Like, they are my people. All the weight and all the hurt and anger, it was gone. It was all worth it, Here's my baby girl. You don't want that baby? Give that baby a life. Give that baby a family that's longing to have a baby. And if they abort, they never get that chance. The baby never gets a chance. One other thing is, if you are thinking about abortion, reach out to somebody. Reach out to wherever in your community. Don't give up, girls. Do not give up.